So, you've probably seen the phrase enjoy the decline floating around online. It's a pretty intense and provocative idea, right? In this explainer, we're going to unpack the main arguments behind it, breaking down the claims from a popular video that lays out a very specific vision for our future. And boom, right out of the gate, this is the central message. It's blunt, it's uncompromising, and it really sets the tone for everything else. This isn't a viewpoint about hope or fighting back. It's all about accepting a reality that the source believes is already set in stone. Okay, so where does an argument like this even begin? Well, it kicks off by challenging a really popular idea, one you hear a lot in some conservative spaces. The source claims that the whole idea of going back to the good old days is actually based on a lie. The argument here is that this narrative about bringing back traditional values is nothing more than an illusion, and the source even says they used to believe it too. The core idea is that the social and economic systems that made traditionalism possible are just gone. And the key part? They are not coming back. Which, leads to the obvious question why? If people want tradition, why can't it just happen? Well, according to this viewpoint, it's because the current system is totally locked in and it's designed to keep itself going no matter what. And here's the crucial point. According to this view, it has absolutely nothing to do with what's right or wrong, or even what people say they want. It's all about who's making money and gaining power by keeping things exactly the way they are. The argument is that these powerful groups have zero incentive to change a thing. So, who are these groups? The source points fingers at a few key players. They claim lawmakers are hooked on the female vote to stay in power. They point to lawyers and judges who supposedly make a killing off the current legal system, especially when it comes to things like divorce. And then there's the media, which is always going to cater to a female audience because, well, that's where the money is. But beyond all the politics and the legal stuff, the source says there's one real engine driving this entire system forward, and it all comes down to economics, specifically consumer spending. This one number, this is basically the foundation for the entire economic argument. It's thrown out there as the single data point that dictates how almost every major industry behaves. So, what does 85% mean? Well, the source makes a huge claim that women are responsible for 85% of all consumer purchasing decisions. And if that's true, it means corporations will always sell what women want to buy. It just overrides everything else. To make this feel real, the source shares a personal story. The speaker talks about how their own high-end gym literally tore out its basketball court, a classic male space, to build studios for expensive women's fitness classes. And why? Simple. They were just following the money. So you take that one little story about the gym, and the argument scales it up to cover the entire economy. The claim is that from your local businesses all the way up to giants like Amazon, the need to appeal to that 85% spending power isn't a choice, it's an ironclad rule. Okay, so if the system is really locked in by all these forces, what does the future actually look like? Well, according to the source, for men, the outlook is pretty bleak. The prediction goes something like this. Those traditionally male spaces, just like that basketball court, they're going to keep disappearing. The idea of a lifelong partnership, that's going to become a fantasy. Having a big family will be almost impossible for most men. And the economy, it's expected to shift even more towards service jobs. Think dog walking, meal prep, all designed for female customers. And this quote, wow, it's used to just hammer that point about relationships home. It's obviously meant to be provocative, designed to shatter what the source would call a delusional fantasy about finding traditional, lifelong commitment from women today. So, after painting this incredibly grim picture, the source actually offers a way out, but it's not a call to arms or some kind of political movement. It's something totally different. It's all about an internal shift in how you see things. The conclusion is kind of split in two here. On the left, you've got this hypothetical idea of what the source calls real equality, where women pay taxes, enlist, and handle debt just like men. But since the source thinks that's never going to happen, the actual advice for men is over on the right. Stop fighting it, accept the decline, lower your expectations about family, and just try to find happiness in the world as it is, not as you wish it was. And that's really the heart of it. The solution isn't about changing society. It's about changing your own mind. The argument is that true freedom doesn't come from changing the world, but from letting go of the hope that you even can. Because once you do that, you're free from the disappointment of trying and failing.
And to put a final epic frame on this whole perspective, the source pulls out a massive historical analogy, comparing all this to the fall of Rome. Well, that's meant to make you feel like this is a huge, inevitable, slow motion change that's way too big for any one person to stop.
And that leaves us with the core philosophical question that this whole viewpoint raises. It's not just about arguing facts and figures, it's a question about history and how you choose to live your life. The challenge being presented isn't to debate if a decline is happening, but to ask yourself, if it is, how should a person live through it?